This video contains spoilers for the featured film. All images used belong to their respective copyright owners and are used here for commentary and criticism purposes only. Please remember that statements made are my own opinion and you are free to disagree in the comments, but please do so respectfully. Hey there, Alley Cats, and welcome back to Movie Monday. Today, it's time to regretfully delve back into the 50 Shades franchise with the first sequel, 50 Shades Darker, released in 2017. If you haven't seen my review of the first movie, make sure you check it out. I explain a lot about the abusive nature of Christian's character and why this should never in a million years be considered a romance series. And while there's certainly more of the same in this movie, I'm going to do my best not to repeat myself too much. If you would like to skip the plot overview and get straight into my thoughts on this thing, skip to this timestamp in the video. So with that said, let's just get this over with. This kinky sex movie starts with a very unsexy flashback to when Christian was a child and being abused. He's also proven to be just as creepy and stalkerish as an ex-boyfriend as he sends Anna flowers to congratulate her on a new job as an assistant to publishing editor Jack Hyde, because that's obviously a name you give to someone with good intentions. Speaking of creepy stalkers, we also see this frazzled brown-haired girl following Anna, but she's not important to the plot yet, so we can ignore her for now. But it gets worse as the creepy factor gets scaled up even more as Anna attends a photography exhibit for Jose. You know, that rapey guy from the last movie who wouldn't take no for an answer when he tried to kiss Anna, because they're totally still friends after that somehow. And he has giant portraits of her for sale without her knowledge or permission. She's understandably horrified, even more so when Christian suddenly shows up and buys all of them because he doesn't like strangers gawking at her. God, this movie makes me want to throw things. After initially declining his request to speak privately, Anna stops thinking with her head and agrees to go out to dinner with him. Christian says he wants her back and to start a vanilla relationship with no rules, punishments, or secrets, and to only do what she is comfortable with. Wow, what a freaking concept! Not like this is what should have been happening from the very beginning. And they pretty much get back together right away. Crap. The next day, Jack invites Anna to a bar with some coworkers for a drink after work, and on their way out, Anna is approached by the frazzled brown-haired girl, and they really want to shove it in our face even more that she's mentally unstable by showing that she has bloody bandages on her wrist. But Jack leads Anna away because I guess he knows this girl still isn't needed for the plot yet and has to come back later. Christian shows up to the bar and speaks to Jack in a very snarky manner and takes Anna away, complaining that Jack wants what's his. Because despite what he said less than 24 hours ago and just getting Anna back, he's still a manipulative, controlling bastard. And they go grocery shopping? Whoa, calm down with the steamy action, 50 Shades. They go back to Christian's apartment to make dinner, and Anna says she wants to take things slow. So Christian says he's buying the company Anna works at, and she starts to argue, but they go have sex, despite what she literally just said about taking things slow. Anna later tries to give back the check for $24,000 that Christian gave her when he sold her car in the last movie without her permission, even tearing it up when he refuses to take it. So he makes a call to have the money transferred directly to her bank account. Anna rightfully questions how Christian has her bank information, but he ignores her, and I guess she just lets it go because we never get an answer. They go out for breakfast, and Anna sees frazzled brown-haired girl again watching them from outside the cafe, and apparently she's completely unfazed by obvious stalkers at this point because she's more worried about Christian's parents hosting a charity ball soon, so she needs to get all pretty. Christian brings her to a salon that turns out to be owned by Mrs. Robinson, the woman who used to dominate Christian while he was a teenager and is now also his business partner, so Anna storms out. She also figures out that frazzled brown-haired girl, whose name we finally learn is Leela, used to be one of Christian's submissives, and he tells Anna that he ended their arrangement because she got too attached and wanted more of a relationship. He also says she'd gotten married, but her husband died in a car crash, and now she's very unstable and obsessive over Christian, and tried to slit her wrist at his apartment in front of his housekeeper when he followed Anna to Georgia in the previous movie. While reading through the file Christian has on Leela, Anna asks if he has one on her as well that details every aspect of her life, which of course he does, explaining that he has one drawn up for all potential submissives. Anna finally finally grows some semblance of a spine and tells him that everything he's been doing is wrong and he shouldn't act like he owns her. Christian then asks her to come to his bedroom, to which she says, "Sex is not going to fix this. Are you insane?" But before I could stand up and give the most enthusiastic applause of my entire life, he simply says, "Please," and she goes with him, and I'm back to being severely disappointed that this franchise is allowed to exist. He has her take some lipstick and outline an area on his torso that had been burned with cigarettes when he was a child and explains those are his boundaries. I'm not sure how this helps or even relates to the current situation, but I guess it's good enough for Anna, even though it has nothing to do with what she was angry about in the first place, and they have sex. At the charity ball auction, Anna bids the $24,000 on a vacation in Aspen, and Christian gets oddly turned on by her defiance, so they sneak off to go have sex in his childhood bedroom. Ew. Afterwards, Mrs. Robinson approaches Anna in the restroom and encourages her to leave Christian, saying she can't give him what he needs because he has to be a dominant. And Anna tells her to mind her own business. When they return to Christian's apartment, they find that someone vandalized Anna's car, speculating it was Leela, so they go hide out on Christian's boat. He opens up to Anna and tells her about his birth mother and how she overdosed when he was a child, and he stayed with her corpse for 3 days until someone found them and brought him to the hospital where he met Grace, who would later become his adoptive mother. Back at work, Jack is suddenly very cold towards Anna, but tells her about an upcoming expo in New York that she will need to attend with him. She texts Christian about it, and he is mistakenly under the assumption that he has any sort of say in the matter and immediately forbids her from going, and instead of discussing it once they're back at the apartment, they have sex. I'm sensing a theme here. They do actually talk about it later when Christian tells Anna that Jack has had 3 assistants quit in the last 18 months, implying he has some sort of reputation, and she gives in and agrees not to go with Jack. The next day at work, after everyone else has left, Anna tells Jack she can't go, and he blocks the door and aggressively hits on her. And she has to knee him in the crotch to run away. Using his position in the company, Christian pulls some strings to get Jack fired, and also takes the opportunity to ask Anna to move in with him. Back at work again, the head of HR has Anna fill in for Jack at an important meeting, despite her only being there for about a week. And she impresses the company bigwigs by saying they should publish the work of a writer who has previously been posting solely online. I wonder where that idea came from. But the bigwigs at this meeting are so impressed by this amazing idea, in fact, that they tell Anna to take Jack's place at the company, and I will remind you again, she has only been here for a week. Christian and Anna go out to dinner to celebrate, and he has her take off her panties at the table and fingers her in the crowded elevator, which apparently no one notices, even though she barely makes any effort to stay quiet. Classy. When Anna goes to get some stuff from her apartment, she is ambushed by Leela, who threatens her with a gun because she is jealous of the relationship Christian has with Anna. Christian and his bodyguard Taylor then come into the apartment, and then Christian activates his dominant mode, taking the gun and telling Leela to kneel, and she instantly obeys. This is the last time we will ever see Leela, so we don't even get to see any sort of resolution to this person who is supposed to be the main antagonist of this movie, and it's over within just a few minutes. Alright then. Taylor gets Anna outside, but she leaves to wander the city alone for the rest of the day, being upset not because some crazy girl pointed a gun at her, not because of Christian's controlling tendencies in the movie that have gone pretty much unresolved, but because she thinks she isn't submissive enough to make him happy. Oh boy. She goes to Christian's penthouse saying she needs time to think, which makes Christian drop to his knees and assume the submissive position, and tells her he isn't a dominant, but instead a sadist who gets off on beating women who look like his birth mother. And he insists he's done with BDSM and proves it by putting her hand on his chest where she was previously never allowed to touch, which totally means he's fixed, and they go have sex. So much for Anna needing time to think about if they should be together. That night, after a bad dream, Christian asks Anna to marry him, but she doesn't give him an answer, even though it should be an outright no, since by now they've only known each other for like a month at most. And further emphasizing that they are the most perfect couple, Anna doesn't even realize that his birthday is in a few days until she speaks to his sister and learns about the party his parents are throwing for him. So she buys him a keychain and instructs him not to open the gift box until his birthday. Christian then goes out of town to Portland, and on his way back in the helicopter, it malfunctions and crashes. Anna and his family are distraught and watch the news at his penthouse, hoping to hear anything about Christian since he is still missing. Just as they announce he was found alive and well, he walks right through the door, and while his sense of dramatic timing is on point, he is an absolutely horrible person because, oh my god, he really couldn't have taken a minute to call his family and let them know he was okay? What an asshole! And just as a side note, Christian does explain in the book why he couldn't take 2 seconds to call his family and let them know he was okay. Because he didn't want Anna to be near Jose for too long, so he couldn't stop on his way home for even a moment. Yep, and remember, this is fixed Christian. Right. They all have their tearful reunion, and his family leaves, and Anna allows him to open the box with the keychain in it that says yes, meaning she is accepting his proposal, and they go have sex. At Christian's birthday party, they announce their engagement, and everyone is perfectly okay with this, even though they've only been together for like a month. Well, everyone except Mrs. Robinson, who calls Anna a gold digger. So Anna throws her drink on her. Christian tells Mrs. Robinson off and immediately makes plans to remove her from the business. Grace slaps her and demands she leave. Christian takes Anna to the boathouse filled with flowers and proposes again with a ring this time, and Anna accepts as fireworks go off in the sky. Oh, how romantic. Jack is also nearby watching the fireworks while smoking and holds up a picture he took at the charity ball and burns out Christian's face with a cigarette just before the credits roll. Can't get any more forced suspense than that. I get it, people like this franchise, but I still stick by my statements when I reviewed the first movie. Christian is an abusive, manipulative piece of shit. Though, just like the first movie, this one is still quite better than the book because a lot of his controlling tendencies were cut out. Meaning, book Christian makes movie Christian look like boyfriend of the year. All that happens is Christian does something morally reprehensible, he and Anna argue about it, then have sex, so she decides in her mind that it's her fault and gives Christian whatever he wants. Repeat that about 13 or 14 times and you've basically got the entire plot for the novel. Literally, the first words he says to her in the whole novel is to berate her about her weight. I wish I was joking. This guy becomes more of a villain than a love interest by this point. So I'm surprised at just how different the movie is from the book, especially since Erica Mitchell had more control over this one and even had her husband write the screenplay. And for some reason she allowed him to alter so much after she threw such a hissy fit when the filmmakers of the first movie tried to make any changes. Not that it's a bad thing. At this point, anything different from the book is a very much welcome change. While it's still a work in progress, another big difference is that Anna is actually growing a spine and learning to stand up for herself. Like right at the beginning when she goes out to dinner with Christian and he tries to order for her, she shuts that shit down and orders what she wants. Still, incredibly late, all things considered, and her common sense does seem to come and go at random times because she still often tolerates bullshit from Christian she absolutely shouldn't, while also breaking her own principles and not holding him accountable for the terrible things he does because he's so petty and jealous and very emotionally manipulative, but... Wait, what was I saying again? Oh, right. So as I said, since 50 Shades Darker is essentially the exact same as the first movie in every capacity, my thoughts haven't changed at all. It's poorly written, the leads have no chemistry at all, there's so many continuity issues, it nearly makes my head spin, and it portrays people who enjoy BDSM as very damaged and emotionally disturbed, which isn't the case at all and can be a very healthy fetish if both participants are, say it with me, not only willing, but eager to do so. But I already explained most of this last time. While I do believe Anna is more of a victim in this sham of a relationship than anything else, it's becoming a lot more difficult to not become frustrated and call her an outright moron for not leaving Christian while she just flat out ignores all the blatant red flags waving right in her face. especially his extremely disturbing Oedipus complex that results in his need to bang girls that look like his biological mother. But instead of doing the logical thing like running away as far as physically possible, they literally get engaged just a few scenes later. Yes, because that's a normal reaction to a man telling you he likes to both hurt you and screw you because you look like his mother. Get married to him! God, this series makes me feel so icky in all kinds of ways, like I will never be clean again. Once again, I have the incredibly difficult task of coming up with some sort of reasonable idea for improvement aside from simply get rid of the whole damn thing, but I'll give it my best shot. For starters, as in the book, they quickly skim over parts of the movie that I dare say are almost interesting, like Leela breaking into Anna's apartment, Jack very creepily coming onto Anna, the helicopter crash. All of these start and end within a few minutes to make way for more Anna and Christian kinky times. Yeah, don't do that. They almost had some sort of tension and conflict that didn't make me want to hurl something at the screen. So spend more time expanding on that and other plot points that could be explored in more detail. And I wish this wasn't something I actually have to point out, but they also need to absolutely make their male lead less of a psychopath. And I use that term with not a single ounce of exaggeration. The dictionary definition of a psychopath is a person suffering from chronic mental disorder with abnormal or violent social behavior. I think it's safe to say Christian Grey checks off all those boxes. I wasn't kidding when I said in the last review that they should have gone full psychological horror with this series and portrayed this relationship between Anna and Christian as toxic and unhealthy as it truly is. Then it would have made a lot more sense, as opposed to, oh, she's trying to fix his trauma by giving up her morals and body to him. That's so romantic. No, it certainly, definitely, absolutely, totally, positively, unquestionably is not. With that said, I will give 50 Shades Darker my personal rating of 1 out of 10. You guys should already know why by now. But unfortunately, we still aren't done with this series yet and have one more installment to go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you have any suggestions for movies I should discuss and review in the future. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye!